And welcome back to Troll Time. I'm your host, Ivan D. Curtis, aka the Troll King. And this is a show where we talk sports, movies, or anything thought-provoking. Today we'll be talking our usual WNBA news. DeWanna Bonner out with the Indiana Fever. In is Aari McDonald. We'll be recapping last night's games and giving a preview of only his 2 games tonight. The NBA draft. I'm sure we'll be checking that out. And if you've been following the show, you know I don't do the show alone. Today is just me and A. Willie. A. Willie, what's going on with you?
Hey, I'm happy to be here, brother. And let's talk about what these women do. And if we get to some of the draft, great. But that's another story for another
day. We might follow that upon when it's over. But like I mentioned in the preview, DeWanna Bonner out at the Indiana Fever. It's kind of known now that she really only wants to go to Phoenix, which is no surprise to me. I'll be honest with you, when I seen all the moves that Indiana made, of course it's a better team than last year, but I didn't like it. There was no youth movement, and that was kind of concerning to me, especially at the wing position. Now, I had said earlier when I made a post about it, and people started commenting, is that this was the best thing that could have happened to the Indiana Fever, because now they get a chance to bring back Aari McDonald, which I think is going to heal a lot of their backcourt issues, because it is a lot of weight on Caitlin Clark to do it all by herself with her style of play. She doesn't have to do it all, but there's no other guard on the team to facilitate like she does. But you get that with McDonald because Kelsey is a scorer, so you don't expect too much facilitation from her. So I said, this was the best thing that happened for the Indiana Fever, because now they get to bring back McDonald. And on top of that, they can probably sign another player, which was I seen a lot of people, want them to bring in a big. You can either go either way. If Dantas is going to play like that, I'm cool with it. But you can either bring in a wing that can play like the 3 or 4. That could defend and get you some much needed offense. Hey, Willie, your thoughts on what's going on in Indiana with Bonner leaving and McDonald coming in?
Hey, I can tell you this. I was shocked when DB chose Indiana in the first place. I thought she was going to go to Phoenix. When AT went to Phoenix and Alyssa Thomas went to Phoenix, I thought that's where DB was going. I thought DB was going back to shut it down in Phoenix, and again, adding Alyssa Thomas, having Satu, along with now we've been seeing KFC, Kalia Copper now doing her thing as well. I felt like the Phoenix team would be much improved. Did I see this? No, I didn't see this. But especially, and I know we talked about it early on, I thought that DeWanna Bonner would help with some of the things that Caitlin needs. I think sometimes with her shooting ability, sometimes Caitlin can get off the ball because she can make a shot. So sometimes as you said, all the facilitating and creating offense for herself and for others, we can both attest to this, brother. We are both point guards. And people don't know how much of an impact that has on your stamina, mentally and physically, to be the only one that's dependent upon to make all the decisions to make the offense go. I want to say this too. I know we've been saying this in the chat. All of these players can get better. As great as Caitlin is, there is a level of improvement that she needs to add. That's the middle game. Because if she's not making threes, and if the opposition gets in her and they don't allow her to get all the way to the basket, you can negate her scoring, because the middle game needs to be improved on, whether that's create some space, 1 or 2 dribbles, pull up, let's get a floater. Her middle game, intermediate game needs some improvement. And again, as I say that, every player that is a third of the way through their second year in the WNBA needs to add a level to their game, whether it's Caitlin Clark, whether it's Camila Cardozo, whether it's Angel Reese, all of them can improve when they are only a third of the way through their second year, brother.
No doubt. I agree. And thanks for the follow, James Houston Jr. If you feel free, if you got any questions or anything that you want to add to the show, put it in the comments and we'll talk about it. I agree. I think sometimes that gets lost in the midst of fandom and everything like that, and expectation. Because I think, I think a lot of weight Caitlin puts on herself because of the way she plays. Like, I mean, because it's a more ball dominant setting, but it's also effective as well. So, and it's helped make her who she's become. But at the same time, I'm really interested to see, because when McDonald was there the first time around, Caitlin was not playing. So now I really think that this could be a nice little combo where she gets to play off the ball some and can focus on her shooting. I think I've seen where currently she's shooting like 22 for 50 from three at home, but like 1 for 28 on the road. And you and I know, like, most of the teams that's been successful early in the WNBA, they have won at home. It's on the road where they struggle, with the exception of probably the Liberty and the Lynx. So that's going to be something to pay attention to. We might as well segue. Well, actually, I wanted to talk about the Angel McCoughtry, the podcast statement she made before we get into the recap. If you're out there and you're not familiar, of course, Angel McCoughtry is one of the best players to play in the W. She's no longer playing in the W, but she made a statement about Haley Van Lith. If she didn't have the social following that she has, would she be in the WNBA? And then later she came back and apologized, which is, I'm all for apologies, only if you really mean it. Like, I mean, I think in her case, in her apology, she meant she shouldn't have used the actual person, a specific person, to get her point across. This is kind of like the old heads in the NBA game. Like, it's a modern day game. Popularity, social metrics, and status, it's a part of the game now. Like, it's a part of the players. We're not getting past that anymore. I mean, IG, TikTok, you name it. I mean, if players blow up off of that, they get brand deals out of that. The expectation of that is their fan base will follow them wherever they go, and the teams have an ultimate chance of benefiting from that. So it's not going anywhere. Just real quick, your thoughts on when you heard the statements by Angel McCoughtry. I was kind of surprised because she don't really talk like that. And in her defense and her apology was that, y'all know I'm not a hater. Well, Angel, this is 2025. And if you say something direct, even if you use an example, you say something direct about somebody that can be deemed negative, you are a hater. Maybe not officially, but that's the way it's going to be viewed. What did you think, A. Willie, when you heard about that?
Man, it's funny because, when she said it, I shared it with you, and I was like, "Did you see this?" And the first thing I said to you, I remember I said to you was she salty because Angel is the greatest player in the history of Louisville women's basketball, and obviously we know that's where Haley went, and they went to what, 3 straight. I think they had 2 Elite Eight appearances, or
2.
When she was at Louisville. So I don't know. I was like, man, like, is this she was mad. Angel was tight that the HVL left Louisville, and then also too, I know that Angel has also been pushing for a way to leave the game, leave the W on her terms, because she felt like her last time that we saw her play, of course, she was injured, and she felt like, and we all feel like that, we want to leave it on our terms. So I don't know if that had something to do with it as well. But to your point, it's almost like we like relationships on this show too, right? So like, it's almost like one of those things where, are you sorry because you're sorry, or are you sorry because you got caught, right? Like,
right.
So that was the thing that I was thinking. And to your point, man, I try not to be that old man screaming at the clouds as I look at these games and evaluate these games, because that's what we do. We evaluate this for a living. But HVL, in the last game that Chicago played, HVL showed up and showed what she was about. And yes, she has a social media following, but she can go too. She should be in the W, and she should get an opportunity. And we talked about that ad nausea on the last time, having a young dog to go with those young bigs that they have. So development in the league counts, and I want to see some development as well.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm saying. I mean, it's hard when you're judging a rookie. I mean, you're not even giving them a chance to grow yet before you really taking a shot, which is, I mean, all cool and fine. I'm also one that feels like they don't have to be protected. They are grown women, and they're playing in the pro league, which is criticism is gonna come. So, but at the same time, rookie year, trying to make adjustments, trying to fit, trying to find a niche and a role within the team can be trying. So I give them a little bit of grace. Hey, what's going on, Thomas? I see you there. We're doing good. We're actually getting to the point where we're about to start breaking down last night's game. And no other game prior to start better since we opened it up with the Indiana Fever, which was the last game of the night. But we're going to open it up first tonight. This evening is the Indiana Fever knocked off the Seattle Storm 94-86. And what a showing by Aaliyah Boston. This is something that if you've been following us along, man, hey, Willie, this is the Aaliyah Boston that we've been waiting for, the aggressive, assertive Aaliyah Boston. She finished with 31 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 13 for 18 from the field, and 5 or 6 from the free throw line. Now, Kelsey Mitchell held it down in the backcourt, 26 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 for 7 from 3. And then Lexi Hull, man, with the double-double, 15 points, 11 rebounds, 8 defensive rebounds, also shot 2 for 4 from 3. And Damaris Dantas off the bench, 10 points, 5 rebounds in 20 minutes. That's all I need. Steady defense, 10 points, 5, I'll take it. And knock down the 3 ball. She was 1 or 2 from 3. On the other end, Skylar Diggins and Erica Wheeler both went over 20 points. Skylar with 22 points, 6 assists, 9 for 15 from the field, also with 1 steal, 2 blocks. Erica Wheeler, 20 points, 5 for 10 from 3. If only she could have done that last year for the Fever, but that's another story. Nneka Ogwumike, 16 points, 6 rebounds, and pretty much, man, it was a back and forth game. Indiana, they gained a 10-point lead later in the third, and it went back and forth, and then Indiana ended up pulling away. And this is a great sign for Indiana, believe it or not. I mean, because in these type situations, you want to see players step up, where I felt like Dantas did. And then Lexi Hull. I mean, if you can win with Caitlin Clark only getting 6 points, 9 assists, and 3 steals, we in great shape. And I say we because anybody knows I do rock with the Fever, and I rock with Caitlin Clark. It is what it is. But getting that type of play, I don't need Aaliyah Boston going for 30 every night. I'll take a solid 20 to 25, and 25 is on a great night. But I'm saying she is at the point now where she showed all facets of her game. She was knocking down the mid range, which we talked about. When you play with a guard like Caitlin Clark, you got to be able to pick and pop and knock down the mid range or the 3-point shot. That benefits her game. So watching her be aggressive like that is great. And then I need people that if you're a Fever fan, you got to understand Kelsey Mitchell is a volume shot taker. And you got to live with the great nights when it's going in, and you got to live with the bad nights when it's not going in. That's the part of her game. That's what made her a prolific scorer in college. Well, hell, from high school to college into the pros. So you just got to live and die with it. That's how she plays the game. On the other hand, before I pass the ball to you, Willie, Seattle Storm continues to be a mystery in the WNBA because they have the talent to contend. But now here they are 9-6. When you look at their roster and look at how some players have been playing, you don't see 6 losses this early in the season. So that's something that I think is going to be a battle for them. They have been playing better ever since Erica Wheeler has entered the starting lineup. But, great win by the Fever. Still on the West Coast trip. So I'll pass the ball to you and give me your thoughts on the Fever and Storm game last night.
No, to your point, it was a big win for them, especially when you factor in, like you said, the talent that Seattle has. The second thing is not only with the traveling, but also the atmosphere in Seattle as well. that is a hard place to win. And so for you to come out and get a win when you don't get the best effort from Caitlin as it relates to shooting, she still got the assist, she still got the steals. I like that part. The thing that when I was with the family on the last show that I called for and we actually got it and Seattle won that game is Ezzy McBagor to step up. And I called for it. She did it that game because they actually featured her, because people forget this, especially, I know we're going to talk about this, the same with Camila Cardoso and Angel Reese. Bigs have to be featured because it's a dependent position. You're dependent on people to give you the ball. If you're Asia Wilson, Candace Parker, that's different. They get it off the glass and they rock. All the other bigs, you're dependent upon guards and wings to give you the ball. So it's very easy for you to not be accented and accentuated in offensive game plans, and it's easy for you to disappear and people wonder what's going on with you. I've been calling for Ezzy, especially when you start to see, you and I talked about this last year, you started to see her career trajectory go like this. She started making jumpers. She started playing in the high post. She's a solid passer for a big as well. Super athletic, the economy of movement, how easy it is for, and she's not, and the other thing about her, she's not going to make a lot of noise. So it's very easy for you to forget about her. I feel like they need to play through her a little bit more. And again, not saying she's going to be the leading scorer, because when you have the reigning Western Conference Player of the Week and our president, Nneka Ogwumike, our queen, when you have her, of course, Skylar Diggins, and then the jump that Gabby Williams, that hurt, y'all know that hurts my soul, former Spark, right? Like, who didn't play a game for us, by the way. That's another story for another day. When you see that, of course, offensively, maybe you're not going to get as many touches, but they have to make a concerted effort to get her involved a little bit, at least at the beginning of the game, to make sure that she's impactful in all the other areas. With our sister Bordy, I said to her in the chat, Seattle, I've said it numerous times, Seattle's one of those teams that can beat any team in the league. They can also lose to any team in the league. And that's not new. That was going on last year as well. So I want to see some consistency out of Seattle. I don't know how we get that, but I certainly want to see that. But yeah, that was one of the things that really stood out to me. To your point, Erica Wheeler, what she's doing, again, situations mean a lot. I don't know if it was style of play. Of course, Indiana had a different coach last year. Then, so maybe she looks different with Stephanie White at the helm versus Christy Sides. I don't know. But something got into Erica Wheeler. Maybe she heard us talking. And and she is doing work, man. So, yeah, I want to see some consistency from Seattle as we move forward.
Yeah, it's always funny when you talk about getting certain players going offensively and you look at it. Ezzy only shot the ball 4 times. Everybody else shot over 10 or more. So that's something to look out for with them going first. Now, you mentioned Angel Reese, Chicago got a win against the Sparks. Both teams are at the bottom, but hey, it's a competitive league, and nobody is trying to lose. But they defeated the Sparks 97-86. The Chicago Skyscrapers, Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso did a job on them. Angel Reese finished with 18 points, 17 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals. Killer finished with 27 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, was 10 of 15 from the field. Ariel Atkins was the only other player in double figures with 13 points and 5 assists. Then flipping on the other side, Ozra Stevens and Kelsey Plum both went for 20 or more. Ozra Stevens, she had 21 points, 7 rebounds, 4 for 7 from 3, 2 assists, 4 steals. But this night belonged to Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso. Flat out. I think the only thing I'm going to say really quick is that Chicago is a work in progress. Like I said, it's not a good team. It's just a team in progress. First of all, when you looking at a team where you're relying heavily on young players, this is what you're going to get. Some games are going to look good and some games are going to look really bad. To me personally, I don't care about all the negative criticism and the shots and jokes and all that. Because first of all, if it's funny, I'm a laugh. Like, I don't care about that. But
Right.
if you're not recognizing the development, then you just flat out don't like Andrew Reese, and that's fine. But her game is coming around. I think making that decision from what we talked about before, because when you got two young bigs and you're trying to play them together, one of them has to flirt with the perimeter in order for it to be successful. Now, Tyler Marsh has took it to a whole nother level where basically Angel Reese is back to playing like she played in high school. She's getting the ball off the board, going with it. She's bringing it up. If she's not initiating the offense, she's at least dribbling it down, giving it to one of the guards to start the offense, which is, it's been looking good either way, win or lose. But that's the thing with development. Development is not always going to look pretty. It's sometimes it's going to be ugly. Some days it's going to look beautiful. And it's just part of the process. So I think with them, it's really it's really about the backcourt play. That's the real focus for them. I think they have good wing play, but it's basically when you don't have a lead guard and a W. Look at all the teams that don't have really good lead guards, and those are the teams that's either in the middle of the pack or below the pack. All the elite teams have good lead guards. It's just that simple. But I love what I saw last night from both of them. As sad as it is that Cardoso is about to, to go away for a stint, but it goes back to what you said earlier about bigs being dependent and giving them the ball. And first of all, at 6'7", if you're not going to utilize them, then there ain't really no point of her being out there if you're not going to do it. But I think it's coming together. Like I said, it's not always going to be look beautiful, but it did last night, and they picked up the win. Hey, Willie, your thoughts?
First off, this is bittersweet, man, because of watching my Sparks. Like, I said to you, and I know that she's been in and out of the lineup. But as it relates to the Sparks, when you get the play that you get from Azurá Stevens, obviously Kelsey Plum, and big guard too, De'Erica Hamby, that really accelerates the timeline for Rickea Jackson. In order for the Sparks to take a step, Rickea Jackson has to take a step. And it's, again, the same thing. We're talking about a player that is a third of the way through her second year in the league and has been up and down, up and down. So when she plays well, they're really, really hard to contend with for any team, whether they come out or not. But when she's not playing well, then it's a little bit more difficult for them. As it relates to one of the things, let me say this about Killer, man. If you don't go to the corner, clap for the ball, shoot the three, and walk off before it hit the rim, it don't count. You got to do all that, right? So she literally clapped for the joint. That's the thing where you start to see the confidence. That's different than that shot when they were playing Tennessee in the SEC semis, right? She clapped for that joint, got it in the corner, shot it, and walked off before it hit the rim. So she was like, yeah, I know I'm making this. And her stroke look, all you got to do is, again, when you're looking at it from a scouting perspective, if people want to look at indicators of players being able to stretch the floor, watch them shoot free throws. No matter what the percentage is saying, when you watch her shoot free throws, she's got beautiful form. And it manifests itself when she stretches it out to three. So again, that was another player that we were calling for. I know people were like, man, they should move off of Killer and look at her and all this and that. And it's like, yeah, you got to understand with bigs. You have to, what bigs are like? If you look at it, there's a reason why, you know this, brother. We're going to take a football reference. There's a reason why quarterbacks and running backs give their offensive linemen expensive gifts. There's a reason why, right? Because they are out there doing things that a lot of times people don't notice. And the quickest way that you can get them to not do those things is have a lack of appreciation for them. And so if you coming down, jacking up shots, and all the bigs are doing are playing tennis, literally just running back and forth like tennis balls, yeah, at some point they're going to get mad. So you got to give them the rock. You got to feed them. And to your point, if you're not going to have elite point guard play, if you're not going to live through some of the things that HVL needs to learn as she tries to transition into being a point, you might as well let Angel create, because that was always an underrated aspect of her game. So I like what I see out of Chicago. To your point, it's a shame that we won't see Killer for a little bit, because she's going to play with her national team in Brazil as they try to defend their FIBA crown for their part of the world, as everybody's trying to qualify for the Olympics and all that. But I was encouraged. I was encouraged in what I saw. I still want them to get, if you're going to go with those two bigs, at some point you got to get them a young guard to go with that. All right, this is the guard that we're rocking with for development, and we'll see. So, but you can tell that they're those two bigs, and their team is different when those two bigs are involved. They all play with a different energy. Ariel Atkins was ready to fight the ref last night when she fouled out. Like, she was ready to bomb on the ref. But again, playing with a different energy because she cared. So you like to see that.
No doubt. And continuing to talk about bigs is the Washington Mystics defeat the Minnesota Lynx, who was without Nafisa Collier, of course, but they went on to win 68-64. Shakira Austin, I posted playing like one of the best bigs in the league, but this is no surprise from you or I. Health has been the issue with Shakira Austin. If you're not familiar with her game, this has always been her, but she hasn't been able to stay on the court. For knick-knack injuries here and there, keeping her out. Didn't play the majority of the season last season, but when she came back, she was Shakira Austin. But now we're getting a full scope of what she can do and who she is. And if you like a player with edge, with an ultimate skill set, this is your girl. Right? I mean, she finished with 19 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Kiki went for a double-double with 11 points, 11 rebounds. Suge Sutton, who I've been hard on, because I was trying to figure out how they really wanted to utilize her. But last night they started her in Melbourne, which was I loved because I love Melbourne. But she finished with 12 points, 4 assists, 4 steals, was 2 for 3 from 3. Sonia Citron, 9 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. Aaliyah Edwards, 7 points, 5 rebounds off the bench, but good, just a great win for Washington at home. And as Shakira Austin said in the post-game interview, it's a young team. We trying to figure some things out, and it's it comes together. More so at home, they've been winning. They're 5-3 at home, but she said, we got to learn how to compete on the road and get some of those games too. Which is good. We always talk about role players and young players have a covenant when it comes to playing at home. Most of the time it's the road games that's the real challenge for role players and young players. But I love this Washington team. Fun to watch. Sydney Johnson has done a phenomenal job blending, with the veterans, some of your medium-tier WNBA players. And then you got 2 button stars in Citron and Kiki that have, don't look like rookies at all. It's just been fun to watch. And then on the other end, of course, Minnesota, they fall to 12-2. But like I said, without Nafisa Collier, you still expect them to compete, which is they did. Just came up short. Lena Smith finished with 26 points, 5 rebounds. Jessica Shepard, who's been a dog, when she's been on the court, 12 points, 15 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. But outside of that, Courtney Williams was not herself. 5 points, 10 turnovers, 9, was totally out of sync. And then Letitia Heidemann, which is you normally can count on her, she gave them nothing last night. 1 point, 2 turnovers, and 4 rebounds in 16 minutes. They was just totally out of sync. Really quick, your thoughts, Willie, before we wrap up this last game.
Man, I love to see this. And I was asking my daughter last night, we were at her track practice, and she's getting ready for regionals to try to make nationals. And I asked my daughter, I said, you think I should ask Kiki if she loves me? Because, man, because I'm your boy over here, a hoop simp. Nah, man, it's great to see what they're doing. And one of the things that, to your point, where you were talking about what Shakira Austin was saying after the game. As much as she was, and I love this because you and I both talk about this. It's all right to have a level of humility, but when you're playing at this level and you're playing at the highest level, you better let them know who you are too. So she said, yes, we're a young team, we're coming along, like you said, which is absolutely right. But I picked up on this when she said this as well, brother. We ain't scared of nobody,
Right,
right?
right.
I love what she said that. We ain't scared of nobody because that's one of the things that even when I was in Phoenix, man, and even now in the league when we're talking to players at night, I know tonight is a big night in the NBA for the draft. I talk to players all the time about, hey, this league is. I know you want to come in here, you want to earn your keep, you want to. Hey, I just want to be humble. I want to do my job, but don't come in too far on that humility side because this is a league full of sharks. And what sharks do, they look for the easiest meals. So when you come in with too much humility, people in this league take advantage of that, especially in the W, because this is grown woman ish over here, right? Ain't no one and dones and all that. This is real over here. So when they come in there and she said we ain't scared of nobody, that really, really resonated with me. They certainly play, to your point, like you said, Kiki and Citron do not look like rookies. They ain't scared. They are not scared at all. And if you don't believe it, we had Indiana this past week posting about Sophie Cunningham being a protector. We had people talking about Sophie being a goon. If y'all don't believe that Washington and the rookies, if you think that they're scared, go back and look at Kiki's look when her and Sophie got into it. Right? Look at how Kiki looked at Sophie. Ain't nobody scared over there, right? And I love the fact that Sophie stepped up. I get it. You got to do that. But I love the fact that these rookies are playing that way. To your point, you've been talking about all year, not only the on the floor adjustments that Sydney Johnson has made. And Sydney Johnson, I know Sydney. Sydney's a great dude. Sydney is very, very smart. So one of the things that you have to do if you're going to play on this team, you have to be able to adjust on the fly and make quick adjustments, quick reads. Citron, Kiki, very, very smart players, stayed in school for a while, can make those reads. And Shakira Austin, man, the things that she's doing, Shakira Austin, the player that you are, the woman that you are, it's really, really, it's very encouraging. Not only are we getting that now side, but Shakira Austin has the ability to be greater later. Man, and Suge Sutton, shout out to your boys, a West Coast guy. I was born in St. Louis. 314 stand up. Suge Sutton is a St. Louis legend. So I love what Washington is doing. It's very, very encouraging seeing what they're doing.
No, no doubt, no doubt. In the last game, Atlanta Dream and Dallas Wings, I had picked Dallas to win because they were at home. And also Atlanta Dream, Seattle Storm are on my 250-50 list because you never know what you're going to get a lot of the times. And last night was one of those nights. Also, they 4-4 on the road, so now that didn't help me favor them neither. But Dallas went on to win the game 68-55. They were led in scoring by Arike Agubawale, 21 points, 4 assists, 2 steals, 6 of 14 from the field, 9 for 9 from the free throw line. That's the stat that I probably love the most. Because that shows she was being ultra aggressive. I think she could live there more instead of settling for the outside shot. Anytime Arike is shooting efficient, I think Dallas definitely has a shot. Because with a night like last night, you only got double figures from her, Paige Beckers, who had 12 points, Leah Rue, double with 10 points, 15 rebounds.
Don't get me started.
Yeah, and then Isaiah James off the bench with 11 points. In 24 minutes, she had 11 points, 4 rebounds, 2 blocks, 1 assist, which is I love when Isaiah is playing. Don't know how long the situation is going to be going on with Dejanay, who has been suffering some rib issues. But Isaiah James gives you everything Dejanay Carrington and more because she can score at a better rate than Dejanay Carrington, and she automatically defends. So that kind of they don't really have a problem missing Dejanay right now if you're going to play Isaiah James. Kayla Charles, interesting story. Waived, brought back. Now she started last night. Didn't score, but still contributed with 8 points, 3 assists. Play steady defense. No turnovers. Didn't do anything to hurt you. On the other end, Ryan Howard finished with 23 points on 6 of 17 shooting, 8 rebounds, 3 steals. Alicia Gray struggled, which is you don't hardly see that from her. 3 for 16, 2 for 9 from 3, 13 points. And then Brianna Jones, 12 points, 7 rebounds. Brittany Griner only played 18 minutes, but still 2.6 rebounds. So the night belonged to the Dallas Wings. They now 4-12, and Atlanta fall to 10-5. Your thoughts, A. Willie?
When I was watching this game, and that was I was about to send it out to the group chat where I was in my daughter's practice, but on my iPad I was trying to watch 3 games at once. But watching that Dallas and Atlanta game, to your point, we talked about how this team goes as Ryan Howard goes, but they've been able to deal with sometimes when Ryan's not playing her best because Alicia Gray has stepped up and is an MVP candidate the way she's been playing for the first third of the season or so. And last night they didn't get that type of output from her. Now Ryan had it going last night, but one of the things that I looked at about Ryan that I personally look for, she shot 17 shots. She shot 14 threes. So I would like for her to mix it up, get to the line a little bit more, all those things. So because she's capable of doing all that. And I know I'm on her a lot because to whom much is given, much is required. Like I said, when she's on, she's one of the top 5 players in the world when she's on. And I would like to see her on more often, especially if Alicia Gray is not doing Alicia Gray things. But as it relates to what you said about Dallas, I agree wholeheartedly with everything that you said. One of the things that I want to touch on in general, we talked about Brianna Jones, we talked about Brittany Griner, we also talked about Lee Giroux. Previously, we were talking about the bigs that Washington has. And so the thing for me that we're seeing, we talked about Chicago's bigs, we talked about Ezzy McMagor and Nneka Ogwumike, our queen. The thing that's really encouraging and I really love about this league, and we've talked about it a lot, is the diversity in terms of how teams can be successful. Because this league allows bigs to be bigs. This league also allows wings to be wings and guards to be guards. I want, as the W continues to grow, as the W continues to evolve, quite frankly, I don't want it to mirror the NBA, where we have taken out the importance of bigs. I don't want to see that. So to your point, which it makes even more impressive what Lee Giroux did, because she's playing against 2 quality bigs. Well, we see what Kiki and Shakira do respectively, because every night they're playing against real bigs. And in that case, again, like we were talking about Washington and Minnesota, Elena Smith and Jessica Shepard are no jokes as bigs. So I like to see this. So it makes what we're seeing from these young bigs when they're playing against quality veteran bigs getting that's baptism by fire. I love to see this. And I love the fact that when you're in your development as a young player, you don't have to, if you're big, you don't have to denounce some of your skills to try to fit in. We're starting to see, and that's a question that we need to answer on the NBA side, we're starting to see bigs not be bigs because the league won't allow them to be bigs. And we wonder what's going on with the bigs. Well, they're not allowed to do big people stuff. So I want to see, as the league continues to grow forward, that styles make fights. If you don't have an elite big, okay, there's other ways that we can be successful. I don't want to see all the teams play the same way. I just don't want to see it, man.
Right. Tonight's matchups, both games on at 10 o'clock. Great job. But I kind of figured that, considering that, the NBA draft and stuff like that. But you got the New York Liberty against Golden State, which I feel like is going to be a good one. Golden State is hard to beat at Valhalla. That's 10 p.m. on WNBA League Pass. And then the other game at 10 as well, 10 p.m. as well, is the Las Vegas Aces and the Connecticut Sun. That game can be found on NBA TV. Also, I think Las Vegas is probably about to hit their stride here soon. I think that getting that win over Indiana was huge for them, and I think they're going to use that to keep the ball rolling. And I'll be recapping those games as usual on my Facebook page. Hey, Willie, you got anything you want to get off your chest before we get out of here?
I do. WNBA League Pass. We've been asking you for years to do better. Damn it, do better. You got people tweeting out what's going on with the Seattle New York game. We wanted to see that game. You go to the game and it's literally like, I think we finally got it. It was maybe halfway through the first quarter, and we finally saw the game. WNBA League Pass. We are going to pay for it regardless. Do better. Please, I'm begging of you.
And as for myself, I really don't have anything, man. Today's been a good day. I woke up with a headache, man. And I feel much better now. But I'll just be ready to. I'll watch a little bit of this draft. Of course, catch the WNBA action. Probably do some recap videos tomorrow. I haven't did that in a while, but I didn't do any today because I knew we'd be doing the show. But as usual, if you like the content, make sure you follow the Troll Time Show page. Share the page, share the show. We appreciate it. Thanks everybody for stopping by. Like I said, thank you, James Houston Jr. for following. I see you all the time on the post. And then Thomas, thanks for checking in. And remember, we're here to laugh, show love. Well, thanks for the follow, Rach Dorsey. right on the outro. But remember, we're here to laugh, show love, promote, talk sports, movies, joke, and troll. Catch us on the next episode.
Hey, we also here too to see me on Love Island with Megan Thee Stallion.
All right, we out.